All right, it's official. I'm a registered dietitian. How to go about passing your registered dietitian exam. Number one, get the Inman's review guide. The Inman's review guide helps me so much. It's $350, but it outlines the entire test. It goes over all the domains really organized way, and it comes with CDs and practice exams so that you can go through and listen to the CDs while you read it, and she says, note this or that, highlight it, make note of it, and then when you go back and take the practice exams, don't just memorize the answers to the practice exams. I highly recommend going into the book when you notice a question that you got wrong. Go in the book and memorize that whole section, because on the test I noticed that there were questions very similar to the practice questions in the Jean Inman review guide, but a little bit different. So don't just memorize the answers. The best way to study with this is to make a timeline for yourself. When do you think you're going to be done with your program? And I got my review guide really in advance. So I got mine in January, and I didn't end up taking my exam until the middle of June. So I don't necessarily recommend going about that much time, because it's kind of hard to discipline yourself when there's so much time in between. And I really ended up studying, like, jamming into a week, because I finished my internship in May, and my paperwork, whatever, with the CDR and everything didn't end up getting finished until mid-June. And so I signed up. I was just like trying to study, but it's so hard to discipline yourself to study when you don't know when the exam really is. And the way to sign up for the exam is you get an email from the CDR saying you're eligible, and then finally you can go in and take it. So I was kind of studying, kind of just hanging out with my family and friends during the time that I got my email, and I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to take the exam a week from now. And in that week, between I was eligible and between I took the exam, I crammed. I was like, I don't drink coffee, but yeah, I drank coffee. Like, you know, desperate times call for desperate measures, right? And what I really did was I got a notebook as well, and I basically rewrote the outline, listened to everything. I made sure to listen to a domain, and I timed myself taking the exam. So when I took it, it cut me off at 125 questions. So there's 100 questions and 25 that are experimental questions. It's an online exam, and you only have 2.5 hours to take it. And I got it done in way quicker time than that. I was trying to go. So yeah, definitely make sure to time yourself as well. See how slow you go, because some of these questions you don't want to be really thinking about for too long. Get your speed up. And okay, yes, definitely very important to get your speed up. I also have to say, I was listening to these CDs in my car. I was commuting an hour to the hospital I was working at, always listening to the Inman CD. And any chance I got, so backing up, of course, I was listening to that. But when I did get my Inman's book, yes, $350, yes, very expensive, worth it. I'll have this the rest of my life. It has all of these notes right here, everything I need to know, amazing. Pause. So yeah, definitely I made a timeline for myself. So I tried every single weekend prior to the end of May. I was trying to read 7 pages of the outline while I was listening to it. And I had a Walkman, you could even probably download it onto your iTunes or whatever, put it on your iPod or your phone. And I was just trying to make it feasible. It's really important to make that timeline for yourself, and I'm so glad that I did try to read 7 pages every weekend before May, so that I could at least have it all read through once before I had that cramming week, and that is what I did. So I didn't just not study and cram in a week. I had already basically read through the whole practice, everything. I had basically already done it once. And then I was being casual about it because I gave myself so much time, which I guess I'm glad that I did. But still, in the weeks prior, I was just oh, I'm so over this, kind of studying, not really, knowing when the exam is. And yeah, in that week before, I couldn't sleep. I was just, up all night. I was at it. I was always trying to memorize something, and there's so much that I was just oh my gosh, So yeah, I didn't want that feeling to be prolonged too much, so I'm glad that I only gave myself a week, considering I had already read the book at least once. So definitely get the book. That should help a lot. Okay, fabulous. So now you know, number one, the Inman's Review Guide. Get that, make a timeline for yourself, listen. Okay, we already talked about that. Number two, StudyBlue.com saved my booty. This app, you can have it on your phone. So it's a flashcard app, and every section that I was struggling with, as well as all of the practice exam questions, put those on the StudyBlue. I had 700, 600 flashcards on there. And flipping through that, any chance I get, sitting on the toilet, StudyBlue. Waiting for your mom, StudyBlue. Always have that app up on your phone. I was contemplating deleting Instagram because, that, habitual go-to app that you're always just, on or whatever. Make that StudyBlue for sure a month before the exam. You should always be looking at those notes. So, yeah, those are my top two tips. I really, the Inman's and the StudyBlue. Also, I have to say, as a vegan, there's a lot of questions on there that pertain to veganism, and I actually got a question. I'm not allowed to talk about it, but I was just like, wow, I'm glad I'm vegan, because, there's a lot of funny questions about, what would a vegan need? What, as far as recommendations go, especially for, babies and all of that stuff. So it's been really nice doing my own research already on that kind of thing. So I highly recommend transitioning to a plant-based diet, considering those are the recommendations for the planet and just to promote health in general. And it's going to help you a lot to pass your exam. I will definitely post below more information about the exam. And let me know if you have any other questions. I hope this helps. Much love. Bye.